So today we are looking at a new product. We've got a kickstand extension kit for the Yamaha Bolt. As you can see, this thing has a mean lean. We are leaned because we've got Hagon shocks on the rear, and we got 2-inch fork extensions. If you have forward controls, that'll exacerbate it even more. But you can see, although it does look pretty sick how far it leans over, it really does make it very hard to get off the side stand. And you can even see how the foot does not even touch at the normal point. It's actually out here on the tip because it's just too high up. So our kit is going to handle making that a little bit higher. Let me show you the parts. These are what your parts will look like. They're going to look a little different, a little more professionally powder coated than that. We actually have 30 of these at the powder coater as we speak. They should be ready from today's date, a week from now. It comes with a spring extension, a bolt to attach it to your kickstand, and then also the actual extension. So we're going to get started by jacking the bike up here, and then we'll be able to get that kickstand off and start putting this together. So we're going to get started by removing the kickstand. To remove the kickstand, you're going to want the kickstand in the upright position because the tension is mostly off the spring. You'll need two 14 mils to undo this. There's a nut on the bottom that's 14 millimeter, and then there is a bolt on top that's 14 mil as well. So get a socket and a wrench, most likely is what you'd want to use. And then you can just loosen that guy up. Once you got it loosened up, you should be able to unscrew it. And then it's just popping that guy out. I'm going to give it a few taps to get it up. Once you got it up, because it is under tension, it can be a little hard, so a screwdriver can help. And then you pull that guy out. You've now got the bolt and the kickstand sensor actuator, a bracket there. You're just going to pull that off. Just be careful not to snap your fingers in there. And when you pull that off, you'll see there's your spring. Your spring will have one little guy. Careful not to lose that. That goes on one side. And then on the other side, to put this back together, we are going to use our kickstand or our spring extension. The spring extension is going to go on this side of it. You want to put it on both hooks there, and then that goes there. So that's ready. And then we're going to take our adapter here. Our adapter, yours will have a notch somewhere cut out on the side. That's to clear the kickstand sensor, so make sure that that is in the upright position. The upright position is with this pointy thing up, so you'll put that together like that. When that is together, you just want to drop in the provided nut, or provided bolt and nut. Tighten those down nice and tight. I'm just going to loosely tighten them here. And then you're going to take your new kickstand assembly with the spring on it. You're going to attach the spring to the little knob that it attaches to underneath. Be sure to look at this before you take it apart so you can see what you're doing. I'm going to move the camera a little so I can get some leverage on this thing. It's a little hard to do. Again, we're going to try to get that in there. Actually, that time I saved 2. Got this. There we go. So some of the hardest part is actually sometimes lining up this hole here. I find that if you can use a screwdriver, put it in here, and kind of press some pressure against it from the kickstand assembly, you can line these holes up nice and even. Be sure you got them pretty lined up before you try to put it in. So that looks pretty good. Once you get it in a position, you just want to hold it in place as best as you can, and then put your screw through with the adapter in the correct position, or I should say the bracket in the correct position. Once it's all the way through, you can drop it out, and your assembly is pretty much installed at that point. So there we have our kickstand extension installed. We'll just go ahead and put the nut on the bottom and tighten it up. Again, you'll need that 14mm socket and a 14mm wrench on the bottom to tighten it up. So we got that installed, and you can see everything is set up the way it should be. This is our kickstand with the extension, the spring here, the spring extension here, the extension clearing the kickstand sensor. And then, as you see, when we pull it out, everything works just the way it did before, just a little bit longer. At about 3 inches is this kickstand extension. With a 3-inch extension, because it's at a diagonal, you're probably going to get about 1.5 to 2 inches of real extension for the height of the bike, versus 3 inches. You're not going to get full 3 inches because it's going sideways. So that's why we made it 3 inches. We'll go ahead and get this off the stand and see what it looks like as far as the lean. And now you can see there's not such a mean lean as we had before. The kickstand still working great with a really solid extension there. Still looks good, yet the actual kickstand is flush mostly on the pad there, which before it was sitting mostly up on the tip. So we've actually moved it back to the bottom of the kickstand like it should be stock. So you can see that kickstand extension with the springs still works great. Everything's really solid, and you're still getting that actuation on the kickstand sensor. So that's our kickstand extension kit. Hope that helps out some guys. I know we had a problem with our bike here, and many others have complained about it in the past.